Do they call thee Georgie or something?
Georgie.
Whatever, get in.
Our lamp needs help.
I could have managed. I've done so far.
Yeah, of course you have. We're not running a charity for waste and strays, like.
It's perfect for me. It's beautiful here, but lonely, you know?
Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Christy Alonso, new film from Ireland?
I don't know. It's Northern England where they live. It's Yorkshire.
It's the UK. It's
up there.
It's up in there somewhere. God's own country.
So this is a really lovely movie, and you stick with it because it takes a little while to get into it, but it becomes really dramatic and surprising and quite lovely. So Josh O'Connor is a dude in his 20s living on his parents' sheep farm. He spends his days working the land and working with the animals, spends his nights getting wasted at the pub in this small town, and sometimes having casual gay sex, and then waking up the next morning and throwing up and doing it all over again. He's clearly lonely, he's clearly a mess. And then for lamb season, his parents hire a part-time worker, a gentleman from Romania who is an experienced farmhand, and at first they don't get along, and then they get along. Take a look.
Just so you're clear, he's here to work. So I'm on your shoulders now.
What do you want?
I want it to be different. The way I want to do it.
So this was opening night at Outfest this summer, and it played like gangbusters with that audience. It's funny because we're about to get Call Me by Your Name, which is a lovely film. But I'm already hearing the gays complain about Call Me by Your Name, that there's not enough nudity and there's not enough sex, and which I don't think is a fair cop for that film. But we'll talk about that when that film arrives. However, if you wanted more nudity and more gay sex in a movie, this is the one to see.
There's so much full-frontal nudity in the countryside among the sheep.
And it's fucking cold. You can just tell how cold and damp it is.
It looks like it's not like hot, sexy sex, but it's
goosebump sex. Like, you know.
It's slow for a while. It's a really deliberately paced film.
It's a slow burn, yeah.
Francis Lee, it's his debut feature, wrote and directed this, and you have a really rich sense of place that sort of lulls you in, and because it's
kind of Ken Loachy.
Yes, it's pastoral, and yeah, it looks very, very cold, but as these two get to know each other and they feel each other out, and there's tension from the very, very start, you know, because they're both just closed off.
Right.
And clearly, you know, this is a place where you go to not make friends. It's very remote and it's very unforgiving and not very welcoming. And so the connection that forges between them is surprising in the shadings of it. Like you know something's gonna go down, right? But the way that it manifests itself, and the fact that the Josh O'Connor character is so closed off and so incapable of having any kind of connection with anybody, that this gentleman, Alec Secareanu, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, you're lovely. He teaches him how to love, which sounds super cheesy and corny.
It does, but it
He gives him a tenderness that he had never known how to cultivate within himself.
Yeah.
And then when he needs to exert that, he's got it in him, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, no, it's a gorgeous love story set against a backdrop that is like one of the least romantic sort of scenarios imaginable. It's like out in the middle of nowhere on the moors or whatever with the sheep grazing, and they're having to like tag them and shave them, and you know all
sheep
that.
Babies get born.
Yes, yeah, it's like none of this is screaming romance, and yet these two, you're right, you said like these two very closed off figures manage to like bring out a humanity in each other that's really lovely and very understated. You know, this movie doesn't like every sort of emotional advancement feels earned, which is nice.
Yeah, I will admit that I had kind of a hard time understanding what they were saying at first.
This is one where I'm definitely gonna, when the DVD comes out, it's like, titles please, because the accents are a little on the thick side, and I'm sure people from that part of the world will be like, what are you talking about? I can understand every word. Like, well, good for you. For us, that was tricky.
It was, but then as he feels more comfortable in his skin, he settles down a bit, and he's less edgy. There's less of a hardness to him, and so he actually becomes more understandable as he becomes more accessible. And when he slows down a bit, he's
less drunk. That helps too.
There's part of it. Yeah, he's not getting wasted quite so frequently.
Quick shout out to Ian Hart, who plays the dad, who has his own kind of fascinating, queer film history. He played Brian Epstein. Sorry, he played John Lennon, rather, in a movie called The Hours and Times about what maybe happened between John Lennon and Brian Epstein. And that film got him cast as John Lennon in Backbeat.
Oh, interesting. I will say that, like Call Me By Your Name, though, there is a surprising level of acceptance. Right?
I don't know. I don't know about the surprising part. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt that, hey, it's the 21st century. In the case of Call Me By Your Name, you're dealing with sort of like, artsy intellectual types as the parents. And here it's sort of like, they're farm folk, but they're not, they're not in a time capsule.
They're not closed-minded, but it's a touching moment, I would say, nonetheless.
Absolutely.
I'm blanking on who the mother is, but she has a lovely kind of just thing she does with her eyes. She doesn't say a word, and anyway. So I would say like an 8.9.
Yeah, I'm a solid 8. I think this is a lovely movie, so that's an 8.5 from us.
Okay, and it's at 98% on the tomato meter, so please go see it if you feel like it. Bye.